Okay, second part to this. I don't know if I can merge videos together. The second part to this is I was looking into it. According to Hesiod, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, though Calypso is the daughter of Tethys and Oceanus. In this telling, she is one of the Oceanids, a kind of sea nymph. There's some discussion in that might be entirely different. You know what I'm getting from this is some of the Greek mythology or some of the myths and stuff like that, honestly, they got to be coming from some sort of truth. Just like the whole idea of Santa Claus and a person existing that actually went around. Anyways, lots of different stories and stuff like that. But when it comes to doing research on this, you're getting a couple different stories. It's the same thing as Medusa. They portrayed her to be like this awful, wicked monster, right? That turned people to stone. However, she was cursed like that. And the reason she was cursed is because she was raped against her will. And then it was either on Athena's island or something to do with Athena. And instead of Athena like standing up for her or anything like that, Medusa was kind of cursed, right? So she ended up being the one to be shunned for the act itself. And I can't remember if it was Zeus or anyways, there's lots of different stories, but most of us just know Medusa to be evil, the one with the snakes for hair, right? And that's all we really know the gist of it. But actually she was a victim of sexual assault, right? To the extreme against her will. And a lot of people don't know that. Anyway, so I'm looking into Calypso for the Greek mythology. This will be a second part video because I don't know if I can put them together. But in Greek mythology, she was a nymph who lived on the island of Ogygia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Where, according to Homer's Odyssey, she detained Odysseus for 7 years. Okay? She promised Odysseus immortality if he would stay with her. And, yeah. But Odysseus preferred to return home, and he's portrayed in lots of pictures as making a boat and stuff like that. So Calypso is generally said to be the daughter of Titan Atlas. Her mother is mostly unnamed. Okay, so that leaves a lot up in the air of who her true mother is. But Hyginus wrote that it was Pleione, and I'm sorry if I'm messing this up, mother of the Pleiades, all right? Hesiod, the Homeric hymn to Demeter, mentioned either a different Calypso or possibly a same Calypso as one of the Oceanid daughters of Theseus and Oceanus. So there's so many different things up in the air when it comes to Calypso herself. And this is what really got me. Hold on, I want to see if there's any other points before I get to the really main point. Oh, wow, okay. Apollodorus includes the name Calypso in his list of Nereids, the daughter of Nereus, Doris. John Setz makes her a daughter of Helios and the Oceanid nymph Perse, the parents of Circe. Perhaps, is it Circe? Sorry. Cice. Perhaps due to her association with Circe. The two goddesses were sometimes confused due to their behavior and connection to Odysseus. According to a fragment of the Catalogue of Women, Calypso bore the Cephalonians to Hermes, as suggested by Hermes' visits to her island in the Odyssey. Now, okay, so this is what really got me, okay? So I'm looking at her parents, Atlas or Oceanus and Tethys. And then siblings, okay? I go over here, Pleiades. Okay, we're 7 sister nymphs, and I'm pretty sure that can also be associated with not just Artemis, but the whole idea of muses, the goddesses of the hunt, together with their sisters Hades. They were called the Atlantides, the Dodonites, or the nursemaids, teachers of the infant Dion, Dionysius. The Pleiades were taught to have been translated. Anyways, basically fallen angels that bring a lot of gifts and talents and teach people shit and are healers and are also control of water and could be even associated with mermaids as well. So when it comes to siblings, you got Pleiades, right? And then you got Hades. A lot of people know who Hades is from that cartoon, or even the stories from Hercules and stuff like that. The more so like the ruler or the watcher of the underworld. And then you got Hyas in Greek mythology, was a Boeotian who was regarded as the ancestor of the ancient Hyantes. Boeotians. His name means rain. Okay. And then you got the Oceanids. So the nymphs, who also can be associated with mermaids a lot of the time. Who were the 3,000 daughters of the Titans, Oceanus and Thetis. Anyway, so the one I wanted to get to Potamoi are the gods of the rivers and the streams. A lot of this sounds very native as well, too. If you think about the natives to the land, not the sea, but if you think about the natives to the land, a lot of this. And then I, again, was showing you the picture of how they actually have dream catchers. When it comes to me typing in Calypso, sea nymph, you'll get dream catchers and stuff like that. Anyways, so consort was Odysseus and Hermes. Okay. Odysseus was in Greek and Roman mythology, also known by the Latin variant Ulysses, is a legendary Greek king of Ithaca and hero of Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey. Odysseus also played a key role in Homer's Iliad, the other works in that same epic cycle. And then you got Hermes. A lot of people know him with the wings on the ankles. Considered a herald of the gods. He's also considered protector of humans, travelers, thieves, merchants, and orders. He is able to move quickly and freely between the worlds, to the mortal and divine. Anyways, so what I wanted to get to was this. Okay? She had children. All right? So one of them was associated with the heroes of the Trojan War. I'll just let you read that there. Okay, that was one of her children. The other one was Nausithous. And the first thing that came to my mind with these two is seasickness, nauseous. Like if you're nauseous or nausea. I don't know why that came to my head. Anyways, Phoenicians who resigned in the generation before Odysseus washed ashore. So he did wash ashore on their home island of Crete. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. He was the son of the god Poseidon and Periboia. Oh my God, get to the point. Anyways, Cephalonians, okay? Again, children. Cephalonians is a freaking island, formerly known as Cephalonia, Cephalonia, okay? So it's the largest of the Ionian Islands in western Greece, and the sixth largest island in Greece after Crete, Euboea, Lesbos, Rhodes, and Chios. I'm thinking, wait a minute, an island. There's so many people that talk about, the giant trees and how there's giants and stuff, and that's becoming more prevalent. More people are talking about that. But then there's other people that discuss how islands are actually like titans, almost like the giants themselves, and how the islands are actually what would you call them? It's almost like they're flash frozen in rock. What is that? petrified. Like they're the petrified bodies of titans or giants. So the fact that under children, she's got a freaking island listed as it. I thought that was really interesting, but at the same time, it just automatically triggered something in me to remember some of the things that I've been researching or looking on. Not something I get fully into, but the idea that a lot of islands and land masses themselves are bodies, petrified bodies of any sort of titan or giant that have come before us, from where all the stories about Zeus and all that sort of thing. So what else we got here? Odysseus comes to wish circumstances to change. He no longer bear being separated from his wife, Penelope, and wants to tell Calypso he is sitting on a headland crying, and at night he is forced to sleep with her against his will. So he washes up there, and all of a sudden she takes him captive, right? She doesn't let him go. I think it was Hermes that told her to let him go. His patron goddess Athena asks Zeus, again with the Athena and Zeus. Remember I was talking about, I don't know if that has anything to do with, yeah, it does. I don't know if it has anything to do with, what do you call it? I was just talking about her. Medusa. Anyways, Athena asks Zeus to order the release of Odysseus from the island. So I'm not sure why Athena asked that or what part she has to play in it. But anyways, she orders the release of Odysseus from the island. Zeus orders the messenger Hermes to tell Calypso to set Odysseus free, for it was not Odysseus's destiny to live with her forever. She angrily comments on how the gods hate goddesses having affairs with mortals. Calypso provides Odysseus with an axe, a drill, and what is that? ADZE. An ancient, versatile cutting tool, similar to an axe, but with a cutting edge, perpendicular. It almost looks like a scythe, but for wood, like a shaver. Anyways, she gives him all this stuff to build a boat. Calypso leads Odysseus to the island where he can chop down trees, make planks for his boat. Calypso also provides him with wine, bread, clothing, and more materials for his boat. The goddess then sets the wind at sea. She has control, just like a Melusine and Cicalias have the control of the weather. They're able to manipulate weather. There's a certain word for that, but I don't know the long term for it. Back when he sets sail, after 7 years, Odysseus has built a boat and leaves Calypso. Homer does not mention any children by Calypso. From the accounts of the Odyssey, Calypso bore Odysseus a son, Latanius. Was a figure in both Greek and Roman. That was the Trojan War one. Through Circe, an enchantress and a minor goddess in the ancient Greek mythology and religion, described as daughter of sun god Helios and the oceanid nymph Perse. Circe was renowned for her vast knowledge of potions and herbs. So she was an alchemist. Usually given Latinus mother. In other accounts, Calypso bore Odysseus 2 children. And that was the one they were talking about before. Nausinus. Anyways, Calypso has some close resemblances to interactions between Gilgamesh. Those are giants, I believe. You see a lot of that in the hieroglyphs as well, and also Aztecs too, I think. All around the world, a lot of them portraying giants, different size hieroglyphs, different size people and stuff. A lot of people think it has something to do with aliens or something like that come from another world, but yeah, anyways, and Siduri, character in the Epic of Gilgamesh. She is described as an alewife, A-L-E, wife, the oldest preserved version of the composition to contain the episode involving her leaves. Nameless. I don't know what that is. The lone female plies the inconsolable hero wanderer with a drink and sends him off to a place beyond the sea reserved for a special class of honored people, and to prepare for the voyage he has to cut down and trim timbers. A fragment claimed Calypso detained Odysseus for 7 years as a favor to Poseidon. I think she did it for herself, if you ask me. But Poseidon, why would he ask her to detain him? There's got to be a reason for that, especially if that's not even supposed to be his destiny. The sea god who detested Odysseus for blinding his son Polyphemus is the one-eyed giant son of Poseidon. So he is a giant. Now in this picture, it's a little bit weird because he's actually got 3 eyes. Only one's coming out from the middle. One of the Cyclops described in Homer's Odyssey. His name means abounding in songs and legends, many voiced or very famous. Appeared as a savage man. According to Hyginus, Calypso killed herself because of her love for Odysseus. All the stories that have for Calypso, like all of the things that transpired, okay? This is what I mean by DNA. If there's ever some sort of relevance between any of the prehistory and all that stuff, or mythology, or if there's any truths to all this stuff, any of the things that happened, that transpired, is that was unresolved. For example, her offing herself and all this other stuff. Those energies, the lesson that was not learned from those energies, get passed down. So there's always a root source to whatever it goes on. There's good energies and then there's negative energies. And a lot of the negative energies are just lessons unlearned. Excuse me. So if there is a constant dismissal or covering up of history or lessons that are supposed to be learned, especially when it comes to into the mythology and stuff like that, because there's always truths based from somewhere. I don't care who you are. If you don't believe in any of this stuff, if you can't keep the open mind and you're just stuck in one cycle, and stuck in the system, it's going to be very hard for you to accept some of the things that are going to be shown to us coming up. So try your best to understand that even the most outrageous stories you hear have a little bit of truth. I don't know why I said it like a little bit. Have a little bit of truth. They come from somewhere. They stem from the root up from somewhere. Even the most outrageous made-up stories, fables, whatever you want to call it, come from somewhere. And they usually have some sort of meaning behind it. When you were younger and they read your story, now what's the moral of the story, right? They have some sort of meaning behind it or lesson that needs to be learned. So when it comes to Greek mythology, I'm sure I could sit here for hours going through all of them. This one's specific because I fell in love with the name Calypso. At the beginning, when I was still like asleep, still brainwashed to shit. The reason I named my cat, she's now 9 years old. As of this